Okay, so this is episode 2. Confusion-y.
Yes, sir, always. You ready?
Lights, camera,
Action.
action.
Ah!
Just kidding.
Oh, shit.
Well, plus the last one, I wasn't conscious. That was all tequila.
I was going to say, where were you at? What band were you touring with when you got the tattoo?
That was actually...
Let's do an interview on you, buddy.
Oh.
Okay, well, people need to know how pretty the dude is behind the camera, too.
Like I said, I'm dating way above my level.
Yes.
That's for you, Amy. Eric was a small child. Growing up in East LA.
That's where you're from?
That's where I'm from. Yeah.
How did you get into the video thing?
How did I get into video? Well, I wanted to show dogs. And I wanted to go to college. And so I decided I needed a way to make some money to save up for college. So I decided to go into photography. And was shooting for a while. Most of my stuff was self-taught and then apprenticing under people. And then I started traveling with musicians and did a thing for Michael Jackson when he was burnt in the Pepsi-Cola commercial.
Yes.
And
I mean, ooh.
yeah, yeah, and then that led to an exclusive interview and doing some work, and it just one thing led to another, and I got hired to do some stuff for Rod Stewart. And so he got me a gig working for Elton John, and then started doing publicity stills. I worked on Ghostbusters and the movie All of Me, and did some Motown specials, and did some stuff for Bob Hope and Lucille Ball. Shot Joan Collins for Cosmo, and worked with Cheech and Chong. That was a riot.
Yes.
And yeah, let's talk about your technique on cover-ups and what you do and some of your tricks and stuff like that.
Okay. The imagery that you're picking to put over top of it is actually going to work with the image that you're covering up. Don't try to just stick something put a cartoon character as a cover-up. It's not going to work, you know? You might be able to color over something and with color and hide it right away, but over time you have to worry about the old tattoo, the existing piece coming back through. So the busier the tattoo you're using to cover up with, the better. Busier meaning just line weights, different line work. I wouldn't recommend doing any blood lining or any gray wash lines on a cover up. It's really pointless, you know? Like, get in there, put the line work that you want. The line weight is what's going to hide the existing tattoo. It's what's going to make the old tattoo go away. But if you're doing a cover up and the line is right next to an old line, use the old line. Don't, you know what I mean? Try to use as many of the existing lines in the other tattoo as possible in the new tattoo, and it will make for a way more successful cover up. I wouldn't use such big mags. On this one, the biggest mag I'll use is 17. Not really going to go with like the 27s or anything larger just because there's so much detail. And like, I think if you color in with the smaller mag on a cover up, you can get down in there a little bit better. You're not going to brush over as big of an area as fast, you know what I mean? It takes a little bit longer to do the tattoo, but when you're doing a cover up, I think it's a little more necessary.
So you can feel differences in thickness on people's skin?
Oh yeah, especially with the rotary.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the weight, so you kinda...
You have to push a little harder?
In a sense, yes. You do the pushing instead of the machine weight itself does it.
Yeah.
So you gotta know what you're doing to be trying to tattoo with a rotary. There's no spring tension. And therefore, can cause some serious damage to the skin if you're not careful.
Now, the tattoo that you're covering was actually done with a slot car motor.
Yes, a rotary.
Yeah.
That is where the rotaries came from.
Yeah.
That is it.
We soldered a metal piece to the side of the slot car motor, which made it go up and down. And then we put the guitar string that fit right over the top of it. And then we took a ink pen case.
Yes.
Then that sucked the ink up. And we had to spit out or shoot out all the ink that was the original, like where you write.
Use that as your needle bar.
Use that as a bar. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, that was how many years ago?
30 years ago.
30 years ago. For people out there that don't know how to make a rotary, that's how we used to do it back in the day. My brother tattooing, like born and raised in Indiana, it was illegal, so that was the only way we could do it was by making them ourselves. And now we're back around full circle. That's probably why the tattoos still look so good.
Yeah.
Being that old, What kind of ink did you guys use?
Indian ink.
Yes. Higgins, baby.
Yeah, Higgins.
I highly don't recommend you try that shit now, but it's just good to hear somebody that knows the old ways.
In looking at episode 1, I had several people come up with some questions, and probably the biggest question is when you're tattooing on someone and you apply the needles to the skin, the ink seems to kind of like spread all over, and it's like you lose track of where your lines are. How do you keep focus like that?
Okay, yes, and I mean a lot of times too. You know what I mean, like that right there. You know what I mean, like that looks like it went outside the tattoo.
Right.
But really, I didn't even get near that line.
Yeah.
And it just comes with time and tattooing. You know what I mean? You learn.
Driving in the fog. I mean, you know where your lines are on the road.
Squint really hard. And basically what I'm doing right now, man, is I'm putting in all the blacks, and I'm just using Fusion Basic Black, broke down with a little bit of witch hazel. And I mean, you can break it down with water, just don't break your ink down with soap. Soap causes it to be sticky, and then it won't be as consistent. Witch hazel kind of keeps your lighter gray wash tones the same consistency as the black. So
how do you know how much witch hazel? Do you have a formula for it?
Yes, I have a formula. Whenever I do black and gray tattoos, or actually whenever you do any tattoo, if you really want your black to color transition to be good, I will fill up the medium caps. You can't do this tiny caps, it really just doesn't work as well.
Right.
The medium size ink caps, I'll fill those all the way up with witch hazel, and then I'll go 10 drops, 6 drops, 3 drops, 2 drops, 1 drop, and that's a black into witch hazel. And then now if I was to do just like a black and gray tattoo with no color in it whatsoever, I would use talons, which is a little bit easier to work in on a really, really soft level black and gray tattoo. I just found over the years that's a really good pigment to use for my black and gray only tattoos. Now if it's got any type of color in it or line work in it, I definitely prefer Fusion Basic Black. Not a big fan of all the like tribal blacks or the really heavy blacks. I just think it's too much, and some people feel that it goes in better, but I think it makes a bigger mess on the skin as far as wiping goes. You have black everywhere.
Right.
To me, it's irritating to have that much.
So you're gonna have to soap it up more.
Yes, you know what I mean. Yes, for sure. The pigment has blood in it, even though you can't see the blood. It's in there, so don't be spraying it everywhere. If you use the caulk, it actually has a different way that it pulls the ink in the tube itself. That's why you can use a constant instead of a foot switch. If you try to use a constant power on a coil machine, a lot of times it's going to spray like airbrush style.
One of the things that you mentioned on episode 1, that if you want to learn something about tattoo, is to come in and sit in the guy's chair. I mean, I can really see that now. I mean, looking at what you're doing and feeling and all that. I mean, that definitely is one of the best ways that I could think of to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, I really want everybody to watch the videos, and I really want everybody to kind of study them. But until you get tattooed by me, it's kind of like just looking at something and, you know, if you are a tattoo artist, I mean, how many times have you heard people say it without feeling it? It's really hard to tell, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it looks, once you get tattooed, you understand a lot more, you know? And you can also, you know, I mean, you can also look me up, go to aetattoo.com, and you can also see a lot more of my tattoos, different style tattoos. And that's going to help too to kind of to prove that point, you know, like
when they see the YouTube video, you know, feel free to ask questions because
yes.
you read that stuff.
If
right?
you go on, okay, whenever you check out these videos, I will personally, I'm not going to have somebody else go on there for me and answer. I definitely look at that every day. I will if you comment on there and you have questions for me, I will contact you and I will answer that for you.
You know, another thing too is if you decide that you have a crazy idea or a really artistic tattoo and you want to be in one of our episodes, that hit Billyjack up.
Yeah, because this is something that this is something that we're going to be doing over the next 50 million years, you know. So if you would like to be one of the people in the videos telling your story, telling me why, you know what I mean, like submit your stories, tell me what you're thinking about doing, you know. And like if I feel like it's something that's going to educate the public and be a very great idea, then we will see about getting you in here to be on one of the episodes. And it's really an honor to have this man right here film. You know, he's accomplished a lot, and to have him jump in here and see something in me, I feel privileged to even get to work with him.
Well, you know, there was something about you the first time I met you. You know, when you meet people and you just know that some of them are just real, and the talent you have is just absolutely amazing. Because with all the traveling I do and with all the people that I meet, you know, I'm not going to let just anybody eat me up. And when I saw yours, I was like, I had no doubt in my mind you were the right person to do this for me.
I'm grateful. Thank you for that.
Let me know if I'm getting too close.
Well, as long as you're not humping my leg, you're fine over there. That was the cameraman asking if you're getting too close.
His balls are awful close to my fucking arm. I ain't gonna lie.
You know, one thing I did before doing this tattoo is I took some vitamin K. Have you ever heard of doing that?
Talk to us.
Vitamin K helps you clot, so you don't bleed a lot.
Oh yeah, that's what they did to my baby when he was born.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So this was kind of a little test, and I haven't seen one drop of blood.
Me neither. I thought he was just because he was cold-hearted. I didn't know it was because of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's maybe a cool little tip for you people if you don't want to bleed all over the place. Is try taking some vitamin K before you come in.
Please take vitamin K before you come in. I'm going to recommend that shit to everybody now.
Yeah, you know, this is stuff that I do when I'm working with dogs and things like that. And, boy, it seems to work out pretty good with this,
yeah,
too.
it's amazing right now. Like, normally the Heaven and Hell ointment that I use, it helps stop the blood, but in this tattoo so far I haven't really had to use any of it, and it's not really whelping up, so that might have a lot to do with it. Yeah. I'm going to guess that has, so, sweet. Vitamin K it up.
Vitamin K it up.
It's incredible.
That is incredible. That's my big lens.
Alright, I'm going to pour a little bit of white. We're going to pop some white in there and then we'll be done with it.
Cool.